Hey y'all, it's Bo and Kelly with Better Together Life. We're coming away from underneath Goldie and milking and not talking about the baby today, but we're going to talk about more like a preparedness mindset, because for what we've kind of been doing, especially since 2020, is really shoring up a whole lot of things that kind of started this adventure of us moving from suburbia and returning to the land.
I think we just cover a lot of bases. So we have a milk cow now. We've got tiny house living, talking about being mortgage free, and all of this kind of wraps up in a tiny bow of how are we going to be prepared for our electricity to go out? Easy answer, get a generator. How do we get prepared for food if we live far from a grocery store, right? If that's just simple. Or if we had like a hurricane in Houston, like what does that look like for us to be prepared?
And one thing about like with your food of getting a generator, like for us raising pigs, we had to buy freezers.
Yeah.
And then
and then we filled them.
And then we bought
and
another one.
Now we have another pig coming, and we have to clear some of the space in the freezer for that animal.
So right now we have 2 freezers that are full, and we have an entire whole hog coming in the next couple of weeks. So.
And then meat birds following that. So we got something to help us clear the freezer space, make more room for the pork that's coming, and not ruin any of the food that we have already.
No, not the baby.
Oh, I thought this is what we're going for.
It's the other large
baby.
It's
bigger than my baby.
Okay, so we have...
I'm in the way.
You're in the way a little bit.
Vanna White thing.
We have a Harvest Right freeze dryer. And I'm going to tell you the truth. Y'all, I did not ever have any research on freeze dryers before Harvest Right reached out to us. But then the moment that I started...
It kind of convinced you.
Oh, so
you were like,
much.
Wait a second. I don't know if I'm really into this. And then you called me in and were like, hey, you need to take a look at this, Kelly. Is this ever something we would consider?
Well, I didn't know that this stuff was even available for like home.
Like for not NASA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is literally, this makes like astronaut food. So they reached out to us, and honestly, I didn't know if it was going to happen. We kind of went back and forth. So we're going to be bringing you a lot of content because
we're using it.
Exactly. And this thing is so cool. Like, I did not know all the things that you could do with this. Unfortunately, our chickens are not laying right now because it's winter. So I'm kind of bummed about that. But we were having to feed eggs to the pigs, eggs to the dogs.
But we are flush with milk.
We have so much milk.
So I feel like we're just trading.
Y'all, I'm not kidding. We have so much milk right now from Goldie that I'm afraid that I'm going to make the pigs sick.
We're taking the milk and we're turning it into butter next, and then we'll do some cheese, and then we're still going to have ample. That like we couldn't possibly drink. The calf can't drink enough. The other livestock can't drink enough of it.
Yeah.
And this is going to help us have milk for any ingredients that we need for like years.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're going to be doing, so you take little trays.
So this is kind of our solution to having no waste.
Yeah. So you would take the trays, put the milk in here. We haven't done we haven't done the milk part yet, but we just have to figure out how to set these things in our freezers.
I think we need to come up with
we need like a tiered system, like something that goes...
You
do you have any ideas of how to organize?
I think those things that you can put your pans on, like your pots, that like tiered thing, I think we could...
Well, we have that.
Set that on... I know, I think we could do it. I think we could set that on one level.
Okay.
And then in the deep freeze. So we're going to have to try and experiment on this.
Well, basically...
I think we could do it in a way where we just want the milk to be even and freeze, and then put it in the freeze dryer.
Yeah.
This is the first time we will have done liquid.
Well, yeah. So I guess I think we can just pour it straight in there. This is what I'm saying, is we don't know what we're doing yet with the milk, but basically it does that. You put the milk in here, and then it comes out a powder. And it's like not a sticky
like
powder.
An evaporated milk.
Exactly.
So like if you've ever bought powdered milk, or Like if you've ever purchased ingredients, like, packaged food. So this is going to be a way that we can reduce purchasing packaged food and just having it our own packaged food with better ingredients.
So saving eggs, saving milk, and then also what I've learned, because the thing that we're going to show you here in a little bit is our very first time that we took our frozen like smoothie fruit, because we have a ton of that and it's taking up a lot of space. We're going to start moving those into freeze-dried stuff.
So we're going to take the freezer food, bring it into the freeze dryer, and then convert it into like a dry package.
Yeah.
So even if you like to buy in bulk, which is usually what we do for freezer food, we just buy it in the bulk at Costco or your Azure standard order, and then put it into your freeze dryer. And then it's lighter weight, it stores a lot longer, and it takes up no space in the freezer.
And this is what I like about it.
I was going to say, I think it's got a pro over
it adds a different kind of kid-friendly snack that they would not want.
It was really funny. Like they were
the freeze-dried banana. We'll share that with you at the end of the video. But it was really cool. I never thought that this could actually just create some kind of new type of food that they would be into, because it's a different texture and it's fun.
The only reason I was down with it, because when you read, Bo said, well, this isn't going to take any of the nutrients out of the food that you have. For example, when we dehydrate, we're taking all the water out, so then you have this like super concentrated sugary fruit, which is delicious and wonderful, and I love having dehydrated fruit. But this doesn't just take out the water and leave sugar. Like this still constitutes the same kind of nutrition, and then when you add water in, it reconstitutes it. So this can be things like compotes to put on top of Dutch babies, or like get stuff ready for pie fillings, and then just add in the seasoning.
Did you just say compost?
Compotes.
What's a compote?
I feel like this is a conversation to have off camera.
Okay, it's not compost. She did not say compost.
This would be really expensive, redundant compost. Don't do that with your freeze dryer. So this can be ingredients for your food. Like that's what I do a lot with canning. I rarely will can like a pie filling or an entire stew, but I'm often canning chicken broth and like just apples. This I'm really excited about, powdering the chicken broth.
Absolutely.
Because my chicken broth is amazing.
It's so good.
And this way we can have it. The reason I like to can chicken broth instead of freeze it is because I like it right then. I'm a terrible planner. So the planning of like, oh, did I take the chicken broth out of the freezer for dinner tonight? Probably not.
Could even then just make the Thanksgiving like a turkey pot pie, do all the filling stuff, and freeze dry. That's where we're trying to figure out of like how to be able to get ahead of that. You know, we have 4 kids, baby on the way.
I've seen loads of people using this to like reduce their waste altogether.
So much.
Any of their leftover food is just going in this, packaging for later, and then either becoming something else like part of stew or soup later.
And it's so really.
It's not as hard as I thought it was going to be.
No, this thing you just basically put the trays, like you put the food in the tray.
And it washes in the dishwasher, which I love.
Yeah, these trays are so thick. You just put the food in the tray, and then you slide them in. Our model has 4 trays here, and you just hit a button. Like you hit a couple of buttons on the thing, and it does it all. It's super easy.
So we got this and didn't want to waste a minute, even though we hadn't like planned out all the things. It was like, let's put it to work. So we'll show you what that looked like. Our very first run. Everything that we put into the freeze dryer, what people liked about it, what people didn't like about it, because all 4 children had opinions, and the grown-ups, and then some of the other stuff that we're planning on working out.
Here is one of the 2 trays from the smoothie mix. So we'll have a good range of veggies and fruits. I'm curious to see what it does if do you have to have everything down on the tray itself? Here's the other tray of the smoothies. Then all blueberries.
so lightweight. Oh, it smells like a strawberry. But okay. Are these the ones that we had like frozen ourselves or like the store? Ooh.
What's it like?
It's really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it kind of fun good? Like so
Totally
different?
fun good.
Like a different kind of snack?
It tastes exactly like a strawberry. It has all the flavor, like tartness of a strawberry. But it's deceiving because it's lightweight, right? It just trips you out, right?
That is weird.
It's good. Even the aftertaste is good. It sticks to your teeth a little.
It does?
Maybe I just need to brush them.
I want to try the banana.
I was going to say I want to try the banana.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. Banana cheers.
But like, it's got some blueberry.
Well, it trips you out at first because you pick it up and it's so lightweight and you're like, what?
Yeah.
This is not your baby's mashed bananas in your carpet. Ooh!
Oh my, I think they're going to dig this.
It tastes just like a banana.
Like,
why is it surprising me that fruit tastes like fruit? But it's because it's deceptive. Like, it feels so lightweight. This is the food of the future. This is space ice cream. But honestly, this would be really good in ice cream.
Yeah.
We should make ice cream with our cream and put this in it. That would be really good.
You want to try
I don't like blueberries.
No, this is a...
No, I don't want to try that.
This is like some... This is like the green
Greens.
part of
like
the...
spinach.
Yeah, that's part of just the green
Maybe
part
don't eat spinach.
of the green smoothie
But this
mix.
is good. We need to make room, so I'm into it. I would do this.
Well, this was my thought, that this would be like a snack for the kids.
Well, 3 of the 4 children who eat things like this. Oh, a peach.
Oh, it is
Ooh.
peach. Oh, I think I got the mango. You got the
I got
peach.
the peach. It's good, though.
I think the mango is the...
Okay, I honestly did not think I was going to like this. I would eat this.
The mango is this shriveled one.
Okay, so does this
Oh, you ate the whole
change-
peach.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm making y'all dizzy.
Here's
It's just...
my question.
Here's
Does
the
this
peach.
change the... Like, are there more sugars in this than if you eat it fresh because there's no water?
No, this is... It is... There is no nutritional loss.
Okay.
0.
All right, this is surprising because mango is such a, like, chewy, dense fruit. I like the peach.
Oh,
right?
that peach is
The
bomb.
peach and banana are hitting, but...
Oh, wow.
As I just lounge on the bed after recording a podcast, I'm like, this is a delicious snack.
Wow, this peach is awesome.
I'm into it. I really didn't think I was going to like anything freeze-dried. But I do like this snack a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like that we could genuinely...
But here's the thing. You're not... This is like...
Well, we could just do this for fruit, and that's such a good snack.
Well, my
And our
thought...
fruit doesn't go bad, which is what happens
Yeah,
most
my
of the time.
thought was with the freeze-drying the fruit, we're actually going to eat it freeze-dried because the kids will just think that it's fun and different. And you can just put it in a baggie, and it won't be all like... It won't go turn brown.
Well...
Like, the banana won't turn brown.
So if we were growing all these things, so like my plan for fruit trees and all of these things for next year, we'll do that ourselves. But this year, you just pulled stuff from the freezer because we need more room for all the pork that's coming in a minute. I really like this. And it's been in our freezer since 2020 when we thought, hey, we might not be able to get this stuff at the grocery store. Let's do it. I'm serious.
No.
And now, freeze drying it, I'm like, wow, this makes so much more sense.
But you don't have to eat it freeze-dried.
Yeah.
We can also...
Hydrate it.
We can also hydrate it.
But I like this because it's not going to go bad. And I don't have, like, I can continue to do this the rest of the entire bags that we have from Costco because they're huge.
know.
I like whatever this is.
Is that the pineapple or the mango? That's the pineapple.
Oh, this one wasn't fully...
Yeah, there
Yeah.
were a couple of those that were not.
The pineapple didn't work. Have you tried the strawberry, Ollie?
No.
Try strawberry. from over here.
Oh, the bananas are really good.
I know, Ever, try a banana. Come here. Finley, have you tried a banana?
Yeah. They're really good for them. You'll like it.
Try a banana.
What banana?
Finley, do you like it?
Here you go. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I like it. So that's what everybody thought of, just like the normal things that they would have in real life, but we would eat those like in a smoothie, right? So instead this became a snack, and that was really, really cool. There's still some pros and cons, mostly because of user. Like, we're still learning how to use this. So there's going to be one thing I think we're not afraid of is failing so that we can get better at stuff, right? So this was the first attempt. I think it was a total win. But there's definitely pros and cons in this form of prepping or food saving compared to things that you guys already are probably doing, like freezing food and canning food. So what does that look like?
Canning is an art form. It's something that our great grandmothers, like some of our grandmothers did, and glasses.
And now your wife.
Glasses break. You can get botulism, like all this stuff.
There's just risks and benefits to canning.
But what I'm saying is, this takes like this much amount of work compared to canning. Canning, like you have to watch it.
I would say it takes this much thought.
Oh.
Like expertise. Our kids can do this.
Due to the easiness of it, there are some elephant in the rooms to be able to address. Number one, it's expensive, y'all. This is
a different investment. So like, we started on a lot of baby steps. We first just started getting food, right? Canning, copy canning, basically. We would get the foods that we would normally eat, and maybe we'd buy 2 of them one month. So that we always had a backup. And then we moved on to canning, and most people will start with like jellies or jams. We started with pressure canning because a freezer went out and we had to can all this meat, right? So we jumped into canning. And then this really did make the next best sense for us, because for us to go from canning everything in our freezer just doesn't make sense for steaks and like all our ground pork if we want to use them in different recipes uniquely. So we want to save the freezer for the meats, and then we'll do some canning with it. But the idea that we could have stews and things that we can create easily, but getting the harvest right also comes with just the trade-off that we've worked our way to this point in our preparedness. And I do think for some of you, this is going to be brilliant because you're in a similar situation of like living tiny. Maybe you have a workshop and you're still in your RV, or you're building a house out, and this is something that saves space for our meal prep. Because in the same amount of space that we could have 4 jars, we could have probably 25 stacks of meals in the bags that we put these in.
We haven't even gotten to the bags yet.
Yeah.
That's something that we haven't been able to dive in. Yeah.
Storage is a win. You just have to decide the trade-off. So this is a totally different, I think, kind of investment that not everybody's ready to make it right away. So you really have to weigh out, what do I want to place my time and expertise in? Because you don't have to spend an hour and a half canning. You just slide these in. It's almost too easy. Like, I feel like maybe I'm cheating my preparedness because
I thought
it's not hard.
I came in, I was like, I don't know if it worked. Like, I don't know if I did it. Like, it's because you don't do anything.
Cool. So this is an investment. And when we were looking into the harvest, right, this idea came to my mind because Bo's always going to think of like, all right, what's bottom line? And I'm going to think of like, but what's the bottom line to your soul? So it's like, well, our community of people that we do homeschool with and we do a lot of life with are growing food, lots and lots of food. Like, one of our friends had a goal to grow the most food she's ever grown. And that means we just have a lot of surplus. So like foods that don't store as easily, like our root vegetables do, those can easily be put into the freeze dryer, and then we have corn and peas and carrots and things to add into our food. And this is something that our entire community can use. So I love the idea that this wasn't just like locked up in the Brotherton studio. It was going to be something that, oh man, as soon as we got it in, just let all of our friends know. And they started coming up with ideas of how they could use this for their family or for our group as a whole. And I love that opportunity.
the other thing that I would say is
Bottom line something?
bottom line it, and you can make money off of this thing. Like, absolutely, you could turn this into a farmer's market income stream.
Okay, the first thing, we told our friends about getting the freeze dryer, and they said, like freeze dry Skittles at Buc-ee's? And I was like, this is really a thing to you? And he goes, I purchased the freeze dry Skittles at Buc-ee's. So I will sneak peek. This is our next experiment.
Maybe milk. I don't know. We'll see.
We do have the milk ready already, but
this is stuff that we never buy.
I have not purchased Skittles in 100 years.
Although my pregnant wife did open this.
I did. And it was worth it.
So, like, we got...
But that's what I mean is, like, taking the freeze-dried Skittles and selling them in small little packets at the farmer's market. Our kids would totally get into that. Or, you know, just taking small recipes. They might use the milk and make hot cocoa packets and sell those at the farmer's market. So we're always looking for another...
That's a great idea.
I know, I'm pretty smart. One of my friends, I was talking to her about getting a freeze dryer, and she goes, you have to make homemade marshmallows in these.
Yep.
So make the marshmallow fluff, spread it out on the pan, and then we're going to cut that up too. So there's so many things that we're really, really excited about doing. And now that we've gotten the cow she's tapered off a little bit in production, and the calf is a little bit stronger.
We have getting like 6 gallons spread between the pigs, between us, and then the calf.
I think we're maybe down to 5. You think
she's doing 3 and then 2?
I think so. She was like a steady 6 when we first got her. She's tapered down a little bit. My goal is 4 gallons for her, just so that we have, I don't know, space to breathe. But she's fantastic. And that said, I feel like now that that's kind of moved into a better rhythm for us, we also milk way faster.
Oh, we got the stainless steel pail.
Buckets.
It's doing good.
We're so much better at it.
Kelly bought like these little 4-quart, little ones.
I did not know what I did not know. And I did not know how to read the Amazon description.
We were like trying to shoot.
It was not successful.
No.
So, that to say, we are always looking for new income streams. Our kids are always asking us how they can make more money. And the farm is really cool because they're like, well, we could raise chickens and we could sell their eggs, or we could sell the pullets, or all of these little ideas. And I just thought that was cool that we could take something and put it in so many different areas of our life. So we've got it for our family. We've got it to help with our community. And then our kids can do whatever they want with it.
Okay, the other 2 elephant in the rooms of that you would want to consider is that it can be loud. Like this is a version when it runs. Like right now it's powered on and you don't hear it. But it's something that, how about this? I would not record a podcast while it's running a cycle, but I've been in here and edited and it's not that bad.
I actually don't even think that's one of the cons. So I would say this. This is not much louder than my dishwasher. It's definitely not louder than my vacuum. So when I think of this, I'm like, we have some unique things. Like, yes, we're not going to run a podcast while this is going because it's a distracting noise. Another thing is we don't have a garage or a workshop. So this is right now in the studio, but mostly just so that we can get our kind of like cut our teeth on it. But it's big. So we wound up getting... Honestly, I think this is the best option for us. We wound up getting a large kind of industrial-sized rolling cart for this. And this is going to live on our back porch, which is pretty well covered from the elements. It's not much different than if we had it in a laundry room or in a garage. But the size is significant. So this is, like that year when my dad bought my mom a microwave for Christmas. And it was like 1987. And the microwave had to sit on a countertop because it was this large. So it's significantly less square footage of space than that microwave in 1987. But it is large and it's tall. So this would not be like, you're not going to put this next to your coffee maker. So if space is a concern, I think this was a good option. And then just to give us a little extra, I guess, protection for it, we'll put something kind of like a grill cover over top of it. And we're going to use it frequently, so it's not something that will be...
Because you're saying the final space will be on our back porch where it doesn't get sunlight or anything like that.
Yeah, it's almost the same conditions as your garage, but it's maybe a little bit more vulnerable to like, I don't know, a few more of the elements. But we're just going to cover it up. And if we need to, we'll, put it into the laundry room, which is right next door. So space is another consideration.
I will say this. It is heavy.
It is heavy.
It's so heavy that the top of the cart is warping down. I had to put a 4x4 post to
It wasn't like it was going to fall through. Bo is just always thinking worst case scenario. So he is like coming up with like, the last thing I want is this thing to break through and then, be ruined. So I don't think it's going to be ruined, but I would say cost is something to consider as an investment. That's for sure. The second is the space it's going to take up. So if you have, honestly, even some people we know have very large pantry rooms, butler's pantries, which sounds super fancy, or like a large countertop prep space. So this is fine for that. This is, I can't remember how deep this is. It's just 24 inches deep, and this is not pushing the back. Most countertops are 26 inches. So this would fit on a countertop, just not if you live. I
was wondering how you knew that this thing, it's right here. It actually has the dimensions on the cart.
I knew it. So in our tiny house, it's 16 by 48. There's not going to be enough counter space for that. And then the last one.
That was it.
Really
you said that the loudness is not even.
The loudness is not a problem for me, and maybe
you've heard it, right?
Yeah. Okay. So maybe if you have kids at home, it's nothing to you. This is just more background noise. Yeah. It could be your white machine. Oh, maybe the time. I think that's something that
takes about 20 to 24 hours.
But I also think that that's just user information. Yeah. So it's not.
We don't have the energy usage yet.
It's not your dehydrator. Yeah, we need to get. We need to clock what that energy usage
I'd like to do that in the future.
That you know exactly what that is.
But Harvest Right is more energy efficient than some of the other brands. So they're trying to make things. They're trying this version is more energy efficient. It's smaller and it's less loud. So they're working their way to being able to address some of those cons as well.
I think that's the pros and cons of this version versus another company, is that this has really been refined. I think that was why I was open to it. Like, as you were reading to me the pros and cons of this, it just made a lot more sense to go with Harvest Right. So you guys can help keep us accountable, because in the next week, we've got a pig coming for our freezer, and it's going there. So we've got my own personal green beans that I harvested that I need to freeze dry. We've got a bunch of apples that I was planning to can, and now I've just convinced myself in this video to do it. And you guys probably have a lot of stuff.
You can actually freeze dry some of those apples.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do instead.
Okay, cool.
So I'll be doing that. And you guys probably have a lot of things that you're thinking of now that we've jogged your mind and thought, what could you do with more freezer space? What could you do with more time instead of canning? Hopefully this is a good invitation for you. So if any of this has been interesting, take a look at the link below. Click on it and follow through just to see what models are available, which one would fit your family or your community. And that might be even something where you wind up going in together and creating a plan for a few families together, because this doesn't just have to sit on one person's shelf. Like, this can be something where once a month y'all get together and just start putting stuff together. That's going to be more
definitely an income stream if you want to get a whole lot of people together to do it.
Yeah.
For sure.
So follow that link below, and then email us with your questions, because we're going to be much quicker to respond to an email, or follow us on Instagram and you can DM us there. That way we can get back and answer questions as we learn them, because we're learning with you.